I'm so sorry.
No, I said, I can tell you which one we're working from, and that's the one I've got. So that's the 5 counter. There's nothing about a weapon. Well, there's no correcting because the weapons charge isn't going anywhere today. Because if I bind over, I'm going to bind over on the complaint I've got in front of me, and that has no weapons charge.
It has no weapons charger?
No,
Want to make sure.
no. Okay. And I can give you a copy of it before you get out of here if you want one. That report? All right, that'll come in as people's one. Anything else?
Thank you.
Witness?
College Sergeant Hickman, Your Honor.
Sergeant, come on up. Raise your right hand. Swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth today?
Yeah.
Come on up, watch your step on my ramp, settle in the chair. When you're ready, Mr. Kaplan.
Good afternoon, Sergeant Hickman.
Good afternoon.
Sir, how many years have you been employed as a peace officer?
11 years.
Where are you currently employed?
Here on Township Police Department.
Sir, I'd like to take you back in time to July 17 of 2023, around 1:30 in the morning. Were you working?
Yes, sir.
Well, what were your responsibilities on July 17?
I was a patrol supervisor.
I used the wrong year, July 17, 2022, 2022.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember that date?
Yes, sir.
Sir, what were you working on July 17, 2022 in the morning?
Yes, sir.
What hours did you work, Sergeant?
7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Are you in a vehicle, or are you on foot, or are you with the police department?
in a vehicle.
Sir, during your work that morning, did you meet a woman named Angela Watson?
Yes, sir.
If you saw Angela White, did you recognize her?
Yes, sir.
Can you look around the courtroom, Sergeant Hickman, and tell the judge whether you see Angela White?
Yes, sir.
Where is she seated?
Next to her attorney.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the witness identified the defendant.
Noted.
Hey, Fred, where did you see Angela White?
I'm sorry?
Where did you first see Angela White on July 17, 2022?
When she was in her vehicle.
How is it that you noticed her vehicle?
It drove through a solid red light.
What type of vehicle was this white driver?
Chevy Trailblazer.
How far were you from the defendant when you noticed her disregard the red light?
$20 yards. Give or take.
Sir, did you notice how many people were in her vehicle? Were you in a position then to determine how many people were in that vehicle?
No, sir.
At a later point, were you able to determine how many people were in that vehicle?
Yes.
How many individuals were in the vehicle?
One.
Who was that person?
Angela White.
Well, when you observed the defendant disregard a red traffic signal, what, if anything, did you do?
I activated my emergency license siren.
Sergeant Hickman, were the overhead lights and siren functioning that morning?
Yes, sir.
How do you know that?
I figured I'm in the seat.
How far were you from the defendant's vehicle when you activated your siren and overhead lights?
When she drove through the red light, I immediately activated them. When it came out, when I initially activated them, I was a couple car lengths, give or take.
You can tell the judge what street you were positioned on or situated on when you activated your overhead lights?
I was at Inkster, Pennsylvania, parked on the southwest side,
What municipalities that located? Yeah.
here in the township.
Now, did the defendant heed your warning to pull over?
No, sir.
Do you have an opinion whether she noticed your overhead lights and siren?
Yeah.
Objection, speculation.
It's Rule 701, you can offer an opinion, you just there.
I'll allow it.
Thank you. Want an opinion one way or the other, whether she noticed your overhead lights and siren?
Yes, sir.
What is that opinion that you got?
She saw it.
Sir, how long did you pursue it?
From Inkster, Pennsylvania to Inkster, Oakley.
How many minutes elapsed during the pursuit?
I can't say.
Approximately.
Approximately 5 minutes.
Did she ever pull over Well, she's here now, so she probably did. She would pull over, stop her vehicle.
Yes.
Where did that take us?
He started applying.
When she stops her car, are you alone or with another officer?
I'm alone.
What do you do when you first notice the defendant? Outside of the vehicle. Did you order outside of the vehicle?
I ordered her to turn her vehicle off.
At some point, does she exit from the vehicle?
Yes, not by myself, but at some point she did, yes.
But you're making the observations of the defendant.
Yes.
What observations did you note?
She was refusing to exit the vehicle. She was moving around the vehicle, going into her center console. When we extracted her from the vehicle,
Who are we?
me and my partners, Officer Nolly and Officer Dow,
So what happened when you extracted?
when we extracted her from the vehicle, we used her handcuffs.
Why did you extract her from the vehicle as opposed to her leaving on a road for you?
She refused to stop. She refused to exit the vehicle. She was moving around in the vehicle in the center console.
Now, those actions of the defendant, which you just described for Judge Oakley, did they help you or hinder you in your investigation in this case? Was it helpful to you whether the defendant is not complying?
No,
Objection.
It was. Move on.
Did or help you in your investigation, which you
it hindered me.
uncovered? Did you make any observations regarding the defendant's sobriety?
Yes.
Tell the judge what you know.
I could smell strong odor of intoxicants coming from her person. She had slurred speech and red watery eyes.
Did you form an opinion one way or the other as to her state of sobriety?
Objection. This is going to be speculative.
He's a police officer. He's made many stops over the years. He could form an opinion as to her state of sobriety.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Did you form an opinion as to the defendant's state of sobriety?
Yes, sir.
What opinion did you reach?
She was intoxicated.
And just backing up for a moment, tell the judge, do you have any background or training in detecting people who are driving under the influence?
Yes, sir.
And how about in terms of the state of their sobriety? Do you have any experience?
Yes, sir.
Can you estimate the number of individuals you have examined or observed or arrested for drunk driving? How many approximately?
Approximately 100.
What is the highest speed this defendant reached while she was fleeing?
I was traveling at 90, at the highest speed, I was traveling 96 miles an hour. I think I was not catching up to the vehicle.
On what street what's the highest speed you noted to detected based on your experience?
For my vehicle or
Her vehicle.
it was over 96, so approximately 100.
You consider that safe driving?
No, sir.
Thank you, Larry. No further question.
Ms. Satchwell, your witness.
It's like, and
I mean,
so I want to start with the speed. Let's go with that. Did you use a radar device or a LiDAR during this investigation?
no,
You were not monitoring speed using any kind of radar.
no,
And you testified that you were at least 20 yards behind Miss White's vehicle when you began to follow her.
approximately.
So some of the time when you were trying to catch up, you started from a distance back. Is that fair?
Correct.
So you would have to be traveling significantly faster than Miss White in order to quickly catch up.
Correct.
And before, when did you get on shift then?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Before going on shift at 7 p.m., did you calibrate the speedometer of your police vehicle?
No, ma'am.
Do you know when that was last done?
No.
You testified that you think that Miss White saw and heard you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you familiar with Miss White before this day?
No.
Do you have any knowledge if she has any visual impairment?
No.
Do you have any knowledge if she has any hearing impairment?
No.
And obviously you weren't in the car with her. You were in a different car, right?
Correct.
So you don't know where she was looking or anything like that.
Correct.
You don't know if her attention was on someone else.
I do not.
So you can't really say if she saw you.
Correct.
You can't really say if she heard you.
Correct.
After the car does pull over to the side of the road, you approach the vehicle, right? Or was that you who approached the vehicle first?
I approached the vehicle with my backup officer, yes, we approached it as,
Okay. Were you one of the people who was in the back providing cover with your firearm? Or were you up at the window?
both.
Both, okay. And during this situation, the driver's side front window to Miss White's vehicle got broken in, correct?
Yes.
Was that you or was that a different officer?
Check your relevance. How is it relevant that the vehicle was damaged?
Well, I think the question was who damaged it. So what's the relevance?
I'm trying to see if it's the body camera that I want to play them right.
Well, then ask him that question.
I'm trying to see if it's, if he's the one who broke the window, it's his body camera, and if it was someone else, it's a different person. So, but he hadn't seen.
I'll allow it. Did you break the window or somebody else?
No, I did not.
Okay, so yeah. Do you know who it was?
Officer Jolly?
Oh, okay, thank you. They're just not labeled with names, so trying to like that. And before that window was broken, obviously it was up, correct?
Correct.
And you testified that you could smell the odor of intoxicants
After extracting.
after extracting her is when we could, not before.
Yes.
And did you testify about, slurred speech at the time as well?
Yeah.
And you spoke with her after extracting, correct?
Yes.
And you never had to ask her to repeat herself,
I don't believe so.
and you could understand what she was saying.
Yes.
And again, you never met her before this day.
Check and ask her.
It was.
And so you are not familiar with how she normally speaks.
No.
And again, just trying to make sure I have it straight, which officer was doing which action. Are you the officer who searched the bag? That different officer.
The bag in the vehicle?
Did you search the bag?
I don't.
I just wanted to make sure that I had it correct. One moment. Yes. Yeah.
Your Honor, we have no degree correct.
You can step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the people rest.
Any defense witnesses?
One minute. I do not have any defense witnesses, Your Honor, but just one search we follow with me. I don't have any. I do not have any witnesses, Your Honor.
I'm ready for argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. What makes this case easy for the jurors hearing the case is the blood alcohol result of 0.2 blood. There's no question that she's driving under the influence and that she had high blood alcohol. It's almost ironic here because she's driving at 100 miles an hour. She's lucky she's not facing a second degree murder charge before you.
Objection, Your
My
Honor.
closing argument. For Your Honor, we've shown R&O resisting or obstructing. She refused to leave the car and she had to be excavated. I think that was a verb used. Fleeing, eluding, 4th degree, she clearly fled. There are 2 misdemeanors that you know, counts 5 and 6. Those would piggyback the felonies in circuit court. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Hedgeman.
Your Honor. I'm just making sure that I have the correct information at this time as well.
I can tell you what I'm working from. Sure. I got count 1, operating while intoxicated, 3rd offense. Count 2, operating while intoxicated, 3rd offense. Count 3, fleeing and elude, 4th degree. Count 4th, assault, resist, obstruct, police officer. And then count 5 would be the reckless.
Okay. And mine has 6 counts on it, so I think I have the correct information.
Mine has 6 off. Count 6 is reckless driving and count 5 resulting in a weapon. So that charge should not apply. I moved to the 6th count.
Yeah, that never came through to us. Count
Okay. I
the
think there's
weapon.
there's clearly some kind of paperwork error in this situation.
Well, I can tell you which one we're going to work with today.
I'm so sorry.
No, I said I can tell you which one we're working from, and that's the one I've got. So that's the 5 counter. There's nothing about a weapon.
So there is no, so we'll have to get that corrected, but there's no count of,
Well, there's no correcting because the weapons charge isn't going anywhere today. Because if I bind over, I'm going to bind over on the complaint I've got in front of me, and that has no weapons charge.
it has no weapons charger.
No,
Want to make sure.
no. Okay. And I can give you a copy of it before you get out of here if you want one. Okay.
Your Honor, defense objects to the bind over. There, has been, I think the testimony about the fleeing and eluding was speculative in nature. There was no confirmation of the, of my client actually seeing or hearing these signals, testimony about being quite far away. The speed does not, for the reckless driving, the speed does not appear to have been measured in a way that fits with admissible speed evidence. There was no calibration of the speedometer, no radar or LiDAR was used, and I believe those are required for admissible testimony regarding speed to underlie the reckless driving. And Your Honor, I will retain other argument for legal motions at this time.
Mr. Cap.
Your Honor, I'm not being. Maybe by saying just a blind person, a deaf man, might have known it was being pulled over. You can take judicial notice, Your Honor, how bright those lights are and how loud that siren is. It's really difficult to avoid it. And this officer said to you, and he said experience, that in my opinion, she knew. That should be enough to get about. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not the trier of fact. I'm the bind over guy. And that's enough for probable cause to send it down. I'm gonna bind over on all 5 counts on the court's copy of the information. And counsel, we will get you a copy of these 2 pages if you want them. Ms. White, I'll wish you luck downtown. Your next court date is going to be 2 weeks from today, 9 a.m. You're welcome.
This courtroom hearing reveals a dangerous night that nearly turned deadly. Police testified that Andrew Lee White blew through a red light and ignored emergency lights as officers attempted a traffic stop. Instead of pulling over, the driver allegedly sped away, reaching nearly 100 miles per hour during the pursuit. When officers finally stopped the vehicle, signs of intoxication were immediately noticed. Prosecutors argued the reckless driving could have easily killed someone. In court, and the judge reviewed the evidence and the testimony from the officer. The decision was firm. The judge ruled there was enough probable cause and ordered the case bound over on multiple serious charges.
So that's still the plea offer.
All right, so Mr. Lawton, you understand your rights and options? And do you understand the possible penalty for the added charge today? Understanding all of that, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily to the added charge? Let's see. July 23, 25 is the incident date. Can you voir dire?
On the July 23rd date that the judge just mentioned, did you make a physical contact with the relationship with or a previous dating relationships? Okay. And did you have a legal expectation to make that physical contact? Okay. Your Honor, I would say that the elements have been satisfied.
Yeah, I agree. Mr. Leckie, you agree?
Is that in Wayne County and what, is that Romulus?
To my apologies.
Yeah, I've got Romulus.
In do that occur in the city.
Did you take my personal bond stamp forever?
What?
My personal bond stamp. You gonna give it back to me?
Oh, right here.
That's all right. That's all right.
We did get that last element out, so the jurisdictional component has been satisfied.
And the people are saying.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, I'll accept the plea to the added charge of domestic violence. I will dismiss the ag domestic violence on case number ending in 1110 and dismiss 25-0948 and 0662 in keeping with the agreement. I'm going to send Mr. Lawton downstairs to set up a pre-sentence investigation, schedule sentencing, and I've made a note in the file so probation will take into consideration the sentence and recommendations from the people. Anything else, gentlemen?
Yes, Your Honor, I don't want to leave it out. There is a no contact provision if the court didn't come.
I'm gonna get to that because there's no bond on the file, so I'm gonna set a bond. The bond is gonna be a personal bond. Number 1, stay out of trouble, no new charges. Number 2, cooperate with probation so we can get you back here to get sentencing and move the file forward. Number 3, no contact with the complainant in this matter. No contact, no phone calls, no letters, no social media contact. That person contacts you and says, hey, let's meet for coffee. They can't change the order, only myself or another judge with a black robe. You run into them at Burger King, you're eating at Taco Bell. No contact. Understood? You can live with those rules? Yes. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm and acknowledge the debt payable to the court in the amount of $1,000 if you mess up on bond? Any questions? You're all set. And did you have something else ready?
So,
Logan,
Sean Logan.
go ahead.
Mr. Logan, please approach. Thank you, Josh Hadley, for on behalf of Mr. Sean Logan for today's arraignment pre-trial. We have reached a resolution on this matter. State name, Sean Logan. Your Honor, this presents with an A case, which is the only misdemeanor. There's a B and C.
Yep.
Infractions that are connected. For our global plea resolution, the B and C civil infractions are going to be dismissed. And we consider a guilty plea to the reduced charge of no ops on the A case.
Thank you. Mr. Logan, did you discuss your rights and options today with counsel?
Yes, sir.
Understood all that? You understand the possible penalty for the no valid operator's license on person charge? And understanding all of that, are you pleading guilty to the charge? Doing so freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Did you drive a vehicle on October 15, 2025 at a location of 94 Belleville Road? At that time, was your license suspended, revoked, or denied? Satisfied, Mr. Hadley?
Your Honor.
So am I. I'll dismiss the other 3 charges that were issued on that date. What should I know before I sentence?
Mr. Logan's been making, valiant efforts. I believe he's well on his path, maybe coming in the trend floor of getting his license back. So, that been doing those important parts and taking the extra steps needed. It's not a repeating issue.
Wonderful. Are you working, Mr. Logan?
Yes, sir.
Where at? How long?
Are you working in Michigan? We did 10-year mark. I own my business as well.
What's your business? What's your business?
Food service.
Anything else I should consider, gentlemen, before I sentence today? Anything? All right, Mr. Logan. I've dismissed all 3 original charges on the no valid operator's license. Fines and costs are $500. I'm ordering 4 days on the court work program. Work program is assessed as an alternative to jail. You pick which 4 days you work. Can you pay the 500 today?
No, can I get at least 2 weeks?
I'll send you downstairs to talk about your options. They'll set up some details with you. Good luck to you. They'll also talk to you about when to schedule work days.
All right.
Have a good day. I am ready on Nimley. Did we lose Mr. Kaplan? If you don't mind. Give me the last 2 files and just, I can scratch them off.
Logan, Lawton,
Logan and Lawton. Lawton was a bunch of them. Logan, okay. We did Canaan a long time ago.
yes. Alicia Thompson.
Caldwell, we did.
Who's the prosecutor working with?
Mr. Kaplan, are we ready on Nimley?
We have to have a waiver on the COSA.
Kozub,
That's these low graph are doing.
we'll bring her out. I got 1 file with no blue ROA. I got this blue ROA.
They're just waiting on the lot. I love these files.
That last one? Well, this one I've got the ROA, but it's a misdemeanor ROA. So there's nothing in there for waiver. COSA. Council, why don't we, Joe, you all right at the podium? Just bring her up to the podium. Council, your appearance on COSA.
Yeah, so they'll be 8237 on behalf of this call rotation report. Alicia Koza.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah, I'm having people.
No, you're good.
Right, in this case, we have a waiver, prosecution does not result.
All right.
Had an opportunity to discuss the fact that it's sort of kind of statutory right to come in and dash and they can
Ms. Kozub, is that correct? You understand your rights and the options those rights give you? You understand the purpose for the exam? All right, when you waive your exam, that means your next court date's downtown, not here. And you're doing this freely and voluntarily? All right, I'll set the waiver through. AOI is going to be next week, 9 a.m. Ask you to sign that document. I wish you luck downtown. Council bond is continued.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we're ready on Nimley.
We are, Your Honor, thank you, Stephen Kaplan, on behalf of the people. Brian Daggy, serving under Defender Service, 64220.
Thank you.
Well, Brett Bond.
Definitely Carol.
Brett Bond.
Sir, all the way up front. You're up here next to me. Watch your step on this ramp. Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth today?
Yes, sir.
Have a seat right there. When you're ready, Mr. Kaplan.
We got to Mr. Ballman. Mr. Ballman, how do you spell your last name?
B-A-U-M-A-N.
First name is Brett.
Yes.
That's in George Brett, the baseball player.
B-R-E-T.
B-R-E-T-T.
One T, one T.
One T, not like. Sir, are you familiar with the area of 10624 Inkster Road in Romulus?
Yes, my resident.
How long have you lived there?
Oh, 18 years.
Taking you back in time, Mr. Ballman, to October 5th of this year, October 5, 2025, in the afternoon around 3:15, did anything unusual happen at your residence on Inkster Road in Romulus?
Yes, had picked up my wife from her employment at Myers and was coming back to my
When you
residence.
say picked her up, are we talking bus, vehicle, taxi
It
cab?
was his car,
What model car were you driving?
it's an 05 Toyota Camry,
Where were you taking your wife?
back to our resident, where she lives at our house, our residence.
Did anything unusual happen outside your residence on that date and time?
Well, as I pulled in the driveway, I guess, I didn't perceive it as close as the other individual did, that I had cut in front of him so close that it scared him to death, trying to get in my driveway.
Okay, moving in. Did anything happen to you that was unusual on that date?
Yes,
What happened that was unusual?
an individual that had drove by as I pulled in my driveway, had gone down, turned around and came back and parked in my neighbor's driveway.
Well, Mr. Baumann, you mentioned that there was an individual, is there a vehicle or no vehicle?
Yes, a vehicle, a light blue, sky blue vehicle, a Dodge Journey,
A newer model or an older model?
a little older.
Were you, tell the judge, were you able to determine who was driving that Dodge Journey?
It's a male individual,
How many individuals were in that vehicle?
just one.
If you saw the individual who you saw driving the Dodge Journey on that date, do you think you recognize him?
Yes.
Let's go around the courtroom, tell Judge Oakley whether you see that person.
Blue shirt.
Noted, noted.
But you have any contact with this defendant, did anything unusual happen?
No, I had apologized to him 3 or 4 times before he got back in his car.
But when he returns to his car, does anything happen?
As he came to speak with me after he got out of his car, he picked up a construction stake and acted like he was gonna hit me with it.
How far is the defendant from you when he picks up this construction stake? How many feet approximately?
Maybe from here to the door, when he grabbed the stake out of the lawn, it was pounded in the ground, so he pulled it out. He either got it out of the ground or it was one of the construction stakes that was there,
About 40 feet, Your Honor, is that true?
roughly there.
I'll go along with that.
What were you thinking when you saw this defendant pull out a stake from the ground?
He said something to me to the effect of, "Why you cut in front of me?" And
What were you thinking when he pulled up the stake?
that didn't, it was a construction stake, it didn't worry me too much.
Is there any other contact though by this defendant?
No,
You mentioned the Journey, did anything unusual happen with the Dodge Journey, the vehicle, that
um,
he was driving?
well, as he approached me, acted like he was gonna hit me with the stick. And he didn't realize my son and his friend were stooped down.
That's not responsive. Well, that's my objection, it's not responsive. Yeah.
But it is not responsive, so let's get back to the question at hand. Restate the question.
In terms of the Dodge Journey, does anything happen between the Dodge Journey and you?
Yes,
What happened?
the individual got back in his vehicle. and proceeded across my neighbor's lawn.
On foot or in the vehicle?
No, in the vehicle at a high rate of speed. Went through their lawn, my other neighbor's lawn, went out in the street, spun around and came back through their lawn again. And attempted to run all three of them over.
How far were you from this defendant when you say he attempted to run you over?
The van was probably from here to this podium before my son got out of the way. He almost did hit him. And I pushed my wife down and I got out of the way also at the same time.
You're in,
8 to 10 feet. 8 to 10 feet.
Well, my son, it was pretty close.
is it light out or dark out or dusk out there this time?
So 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Were you able to see clearly?
Yes, oh yes.
What were you thinking when you saw this Dodge Journey occupied by this defendant traveling toward you?
When he started going through the lawn and everything, I'm thinking this guy's lost his mind, you know? And then when he went out in the street, spun it back around to come back at us, I'm like, you know, I was yelling at everybody, watch out, 'cause he's gonna try and run somebody over. I thought he was gonna run into one of the vehicles parked in the driveway.
Now, you mentioned your son. Anything happened to your son with respect to the Dodge Journey?
No,
What about the Dodge Journey and him? Was he near the vehicle? Meaning your son?
he almost got hit by it, really close.
How far are you from your son when your son is almost hit by the vehicle?
I was probably about 10 foot from Brian when he almost got hit.
Any concerns one way or the other for your safety while this was happening?
Well, I was out of the way, far enough out of the way, but not Brian. He wasn't out of the way at all.
Well, how close is the vehicle, the Dodge Journey, to you when he's driving?
Probably about 10 feet, 5-10 feet. We were moving out of the way pretty quickly because we didn't know which way he was gonna jerk the wheel.
Why did you move out of the way? Why'd you move out of the way?
Hold on, the objection. When you say we, who are you referring to?
Well, I'd already pushed my wife down because I didn't know what this guy was gonna do.
Right.
It was kind of a panic situation, like go this way because I don't know which way he's gonna
But
go.
my question was, when you said we, were you talking about you and your son, or you and your wife, or all three of you?
All three of us. I'm yelling at Brian.
Okay. Go ahead. Next question.
One way or the other, whether you had been struck by the Dodge Journey had you not moved.
It'd have killed him.
What about you?
No,
How far?
I was far enough out of the way. I wasn't gonna get hurt. Luckily,
Did you contact the police
yes,
that day or a different day?
same day, a few minutes later.
Can you estimate the speed the defendant was driving at when he had that reckless course with his Dodge Journey?
Through the lawns, he was going as fast as he was spinning the tires, just tearing up the grass. My neighbors were out there watching this whole thing go
And
down.
what about when he almost struck you? Can you estimate the speed?
35, 40 mile an hour. By the time he'd gone through the other neighbors next door, it was like going from here clear over there to come back. And he fishtailed coming that up.
And what about the speed?
35, 40.
We can't talk the same. Regarding your son, how fast was the defendant driving when he almost hit your son?
Probably about 40, 35, 40.
Take her.
Mr. Gagnier? Sir, you can step down. Watch your step on my ramp. Just wait outside in the hallway. Next witness? Okay. Any defense witnesses? I'm ready for argument.
No, I know you have. There's a charge of resisting or obstructing. Our witness is not present. I'm not going to ask you for adjournment, but I will see that charge is false. Two counts of felonious assault. We know system recognizes that an automobile can be a dangerous weapon. In this case, there was either an attempt to strike the two victims, father and son, or an intent to place them in fear of conceiving the injury from a dangerous weapon. So we would ask your honor to find the case over on 2 counts of felonious assault.
Thank you. I agree. All right, so we'll bind over on counts 1 and 2 only. AOI date is going to be 2 weeks from today on the 17th. I'm gonna have, bond continued. Anything else, gentlemen?
No, thanks. Oh, thank you, Robert.
Good luck downtown, Mr. Nimbley.
Now, we have a plea on it afterwards.
All right, let me get my paperwork caught up. All right, I'm ready for appearances on Apperson.
It's summary.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss. It's always morning somewhere, Miss Brush.
Number 582.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. Stephen Kaplan, as you have.
And, appearing, I'm Summers Rush number 8588, appearing on behalf of Richard Apperson, who is a thing, please state your name for the record.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yeah, please.
Your Honor, subject to your approval, defendant will plead guilty to an added count of use of ecstasy or letting this in.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Apperson, did you discuss your rights and options with Miss Brush?
Yeah.
Understood those? You understand the possible penalty for this added charge? Understanding all of this, are you pleading guilty to the added charge? Pleading guilty freely, freely and voluntarily today? Counsel, would you voir dire to get me the facts I need? I'm showing a June 23, 24 incident date.
Judge, Mr. Apperson, were you, stopped, while driving on June 23rd, 2024? This was in the afternoon. And, this was in, this one, Easter Road and Sid Road, Township, Michigan?
Yes.
Okay, and, during that time, were you, using a controlled substance? And you did the future stuff? And this was in Wayne County?
This is the moment the courtroom changes. The judge stops being patient. This is no longer a warning. Every word now carries consequences. One wrong move, and freedom disappears.